creatures. After feeling disappointed with WrestleMania Night 1, I was just like, all right, Collision is usually good. We gonna have a good time. We waited like 20 minutes or so, close to 30 minutes, something like that, before the show actually started. It was supposed to start at 11:30. Apparently TNT has basketball or whatever other sports that's obviously more important than pro wrestling that was going on. So we had to wait for that to be finished so that Collision could start. We started off the show with FTR versus Top Flight. And I'm like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and get into all to the details because I'm disappointed. Top Flight lost. Okay, is that anything to be surprised about? No. However, Tony Khan, I dare you, I challenge you to give the fans something else. You literally didn't even need to do the stupid tournament. You could have just said, hey, FTR and Young Bucks are going for the titles. That's all you had to motherfucking do. Not play with the fans' emotions and make us think that we're going to have something different. You're doing things exactly what you've been doing this whole entire time. At any given point, you can just turn to AEW and FTR got titles and the Young Bucks got titles. And it's just like, all these young, new teams that have been working hard, they don't get the fucking opportunity to even be close to those titles. And I just don't understand why Tony Khan time and time again have to resort to doing what he feels is comfortable. And it's like, make yourself do things that you normally wouldn't do, and then you start to realize that, hey, I hired all these motherfucking people for a reason to be in this company, not just to give the titles to the same people every single time. It's a shame because Top Flight is a really great team. The only thing I can honestly say about them is that they don't have enough opportunities to let these men talk, but they are absolutely just almost flawless in the ring. And the fact that these guys cannot even get close to these titles is absolutely insane. I just don't have any words when it comes to why Tony Khan is just giving people the same old shit over and over again and wonder why these ratings are lower than what they should be. I'm so disappointed. FTR is advancing to take on the Elite. I don't remember if they actually said when that was going to happen. Oh, and I just want to say this, Tony Khan, because while you want to give us FTR and shove these people down our throats, they couldn't even do their own fucking finisher to win this match. They botched the Shattered Machine to take the win. And it's like, oh, so this is who you want to put in the finals to get these titles. Whatever. I'm not here to throw shade at anybody. After that, they gave us a video package about Okada and the Elite. I don't care. Then we had Pac went against a local jobber named Encore Moore. And when I heard the name, I was just like, oh, okay. It's a play on the word encore because that means again or more in French. Squash. Didn't understand. And then we do this thing on our watch-alongs where we have a counter for the black wrestlers because they always lose. And maybe it sounds funny, maybe it doesn't. But when we look back at it, it's just like, holy shit. Like, if you're a person of color, you're bound to lose in AEW. And unfortunately, since we've been paying attention to that stuff, it really shows to be an issue in terms of for people of color. But since this was a jobber, I don't know if we can really count this. Pac wins in like 2.6 minutes or whatever. And that was it. He called out Okada. He said, bitch, I won the title. What's up? And he's waiting for a response. So we'll hear a response from Okada pretty much probably on Dynamite. I'm bored. I'm over it. We get a interview with Bryan Danielson and Renee Paquette. I felt like this was a filler episode where it's just like, let's not do too much. WrestleMania is on that night. We don't want to give the fans too much. Why the fuck does that matter? I don't know. We did not need Renee Paquette to be doing interviews with Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. It just felt like a little bit of a waste of time, real talk. Then these motherfuckers gave us Hook and Chris Jericho versus Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Why would anyone believe that Hook and Chris Jericho, that's never even fucking tagged before, would beat Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty? Lee Moriarty, I don't care what anybody say, this man is amazing. He's an amazing technical wrestler. If they let this man cook in the damn company, he would be up there, moving up that ladder to what Bryan Danielson is in a few years. Now, I don't want to say now, but, he's very great, technically speaking. Shane Taylor is a powerhouse, and these motherfuckers want us to believe that Hook and Chris Jericho can beat these two. Let me tell you what happened. Hook is on the top, and and Shane Taylor is outside the ring. Hook, who is maybe 40 pounds, maybe I'm being too nice by saying 140 pounds, went and dived onto Shane Taylor, and Shane Taylor just drops himself onto the ground as if it was a Big Show that dived his ass onto him. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Shane Taylor is definitely 300 plus pounds, well, around that. And then Hook, who is maybe 140 pounds, jumps on him, and he made it seem like he a fucking plane then crashed onto him. I couldn't even believe it. That it would insult our intelligence like that. And none of it makes sense. And then there was a part of this match where Hook lifts Shane Taylor and whatever. Lately, I'm not really that happy with AEW. I'm just so serious. Like, sometimes I just feel like pulling Tony Khan aside and just be like, what are you doing? What the hell are you giving us? Hook and Chris Jericho takes the win. And it was, what's his name? Lee Moriarty to tap from Hook. And I'm just like, the real submission specialist, which is Lee Moriarty, is tapping to Hook? Wow. Just wow. After all this, though, somebody ran up in the ring and just started attacking Chris Jericho and Hook, and it's Anthony Ogogo. A lot of y'all not even remember who this even is, but he's that black British guy who used to do, I think, MMA or something like that. And he's back. He's back in the company. I think what's his name? Tony Khan is looking at the budget cuts and just being like, you know what? I'm cutting a whole bunch of people while we still have a lot of people who has not been wrestling. Let's try to get the people that is still employed doing something. So here we are. Anthony Ogogo has joined Shane Taylor Promotions. And it was lovely to see Hook and Chris Jericho get their ass whooped. Especially after what we just saw. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, after that fiasco, we had Dustin Rhodes, who comes on camera and gives a promo of his life just to say, Samoa Joe, I want to face you for the title. And later on, Samoa Joe accepts the challenge. Well, lack of a challenge, according to Samoa Joe. They're going to end up having a match. When is that going to happen? I think they said Dynamite. Whatever. House of Black versus Brian Keith, Matt Sydal, Christopher Daniels. Once again, they keep throwing Brian Keith into these weird ass teams. And to me, I'm just like, okay, well, at least he's getting experience in AEW. But I would love to see him taking W's. I would love to see him being paired up with people where it actually feels like, okay, this feels like a real team. Whatever. House of Black ends up taking the win. I'm not even going to get into details about it because it's just like, I don't know. Nobody's really excited for this type of matchup. Anyway, they end up taking the win, pinning Brian Keith. So I guess when it comes to the Black wrestlers losing, that actually counts as another loss. Nobody cared about this. But Adam Copeland music hits. House of Black is ready for Adam. However, Adam comes from behind and ends up attacking House of Black, but there's only one of him. So Mark Briscoe comes out trying to even things up a little bit. Then FTR dumbasses come out too. I can't stand them right now. They come out and help too. But then Nicholas and Matthew comes out and they fighting too, and I'm just like, what is this mess? What is this mess? It was just a lot to take in. I didn't care about this either. Next we have Rocky Romero backstage saying that he wants to have an eliminator match for the international title, and he doesn't have to look too far because the Undisputed Kingdom is literally right on the other side of the room. They just come to the camera shot, and Roderick is like, yeah, bitch, we can have a match. Sure, why not? So we'll probably get that. I think they said Dynamite. I'm not 100% sure, y'all. I have no clue. Now, to make matters worse, Lion Hook are shocked and surprised that they got their ass whooped after their match, after they won. And Chris Jericho's like, well, you know what? There's only 2 of us and 3 of them. We need one more person to help out. And then all of a sudden, Shibata comes with his little Google translator, and he wants to be in the match. So he's this 3rd person that's going to be in this trios match. And I'm just like, y'all wasting my boy Shibata on Hook and Chris Jericho? Oh my gosh. Tony Khan, I'm bored. So up next we had Yuka Sakazaki. Yes, Yuka, who has been gone for definitely over a year. She's back. She goes against Trish Adora. And if you thought for one second that Trish Adora was going to win a match in AEW, you're wrong. Yuka takes the win. I did not like that at all. But the match was great, and I didn't mind it at all. Both these girls are talented. I just kept hoping that it wasn't going to be a squash, and it actually wasn't a squash match, so that I can appreciate. Yes, like I said, Yuka won. After the match, surprise, surprise, Serena Deeb comes out, and she's having a little stare down, kind of clapping for Yuka for her win. And I'm just like, okay, she's probably going to go against Yuka. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Now, we do have Daniel Garcia with Daddy Magic backstage. Daniel won his match last night on Rampage, so he's feeling motivated and happy, and he wants to have matches like Will with Will Ospreay, Takeshita, and all these other guys. He know he can fit in with these guys, and he wants bigger and better things for his career in AEW. And honestly, I feel the very same way. Daniel's very talented. He has a lot of potential, but there's still something missing about him that I feel like that could really make him stand out. I don't know what it is, but he needs something to be able to stand out and to be a really key player in AEW. And part of that is also Tony Khan, AEW in itself, taking risks, making big moves with someone like Daniel Garcia. Not just him, but a lot of younger talent there too. After this, we do have the Butcher going against Claudio Castagnoli. Whatever. Claudio wins. Julia Hart, she's looking forward to going against Willow Nightingale. She knows she's going to win. She ain't worried about losing the title. And that she's our forever TBS champion. I love to hear that. I absolutely love to hear that from Julia. However, I do see it being Willow taking the win at the Dynasty pay-per-view against Julia, and I see the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, which is the next one, being where Mercedes will actually take the title from Willow Nightingale. I mean, you can book this from a fucking mile away. Anyway, we also have our main event, Penta versus Commander. And Penta, he's one of my favorites. He's definitely my favorite luchador. A very versatile wrestler. So no matter who gets in the ring with him, it doesn't really matter. He can work well with anyone. He goes against Commander. Commander's been gone for a couple of weeks. Not gone long enough, if you ask me. And he has a pretty decent match here with Penta. My thing here is that I started to really realize that, Commander, he always wins in Ring of Honor, but then on AEW TV, it seems like he's taking the L's there. And it's strange because Alex Abrahantes comes out with both. You know what? I don't know why they do this with Alex, where he's coming out with all the luchadors or whatever. It's a little weird at this point. But Penta ends up taking the win, which was obvious because he's going to go against Adam Copeland for the TNT title on Dynamite. So there's no reason why he should be taking any L's before that match. This is just a little bit of a reminder of who is Penta and why he should be going against Adam Copeland for the TNT title. After the match, Adam Copeland comes out with his fine ass and he's standing there looking at Penta face to face. Well, not face to face. Pretty much they're standing, the ramp is in between them, so they're not that close, but they're staring down each other. They're waiting for Wednesday night. I'm actually very interested to see how these two do with each other in the ring. I think this is going to be a really great challenger for Adam Copeland. Not just like as a challenger, but like an actual challenge for us to see Adam Copeland and different matches with people who've never seen him in the ring before. Is really refreshing to see things that we have not seen before. You hear that, Tony Khan? It's refreshing to see things we have not seen before. Collision was absolutely skippable. And before I end up in my review, I really tried and I asked myself, am I not liking this show because WrestleMania sucked or what? The truth is that both these shows were not great. I didn't care for either one of them, but I didn't let how I felt about WrestleMania dictate how I was going to feel about Collision. I actually thought Collision was going to be better because I've said this plenty of times that Collision has been better than Dynamite a lot. And this is just one of the worst episodes of Collision I've ever seen. Matter of fact, this also felt rushed, and the reason why I say that is because they take this on Wednesday night. So it did feel rushed. It felt like a filler type thing where they just threw in really weird things here, interviews and stuff, and it's just like, it didn't feel and flow right. Collision, the first 3 months were just absolutely excellent, and now I don't know what's going on with it. But guys, thanks so much for watching my review. Even though I absolutely didn't necessarily care for any of these shows tonight, I sat through them because I love pro wrestling. And I do these reviews because I want to talk about what I love so much. But there are times where you don't necessarily like what you love because they don't give you what you want. But I'm still sticking by my love for pro wrestling. I'll be back tomorrow with a watch along for WrestleMania Night 2 and then a review for those of you who don't watch the watch along. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.